Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, this is Steve Roy, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. Thanks for listening. So today we're going to jump right into something coming up here very shortly. So today is October 20th. We are starting the 75 Hard Challenge November 1st. If you don't know what that is, just Google it. But it's a very, really popular challenge here put together by First Form owner Andy Frisella. He does the MFCEO podcast. He's got a couple of podcasts actually. Anyway, this has kind of gotten a lot of internet fame. It's all over the place. There's a bunch of Facebook groups, and there's literally tens or hundreds of thousands of people that have gone through this challenge. And so it's a totally free challenge. The basics are pretty simple. It's obviously, as the name implies, 75 hard. It's not an easy task, but the individual daily to-dos that you have aren't particularly difficult. It's just a matter of doing it. So I'm going to run through that real quick before I jump into the show. So the 5 things you need to know about the 75 hard. Number 1, you pick a diet. Doesn't matter what diet it is. You don't have to adhere to a specific, carnivore, keto, whatever. Find a diet that works for you personally. It has to be healthy. It has to be sustainable. Okay, so for me, I choose like a paleo or a primal diet that works really well for me. And so once you choose your diet, your goal is to have 0 cheats, not one cheat in 75 days, not one M&M, nothing. And there's no alcohol either. So if your diet includes alcohol, too bad, you can't have it. Number 2, you have to do 2 workouts a day, each for 45 minutes long at least. One has to be outside regardless of weather. And so at first this sounds crazy, but when you look a little bit closer, you realize that one of the workouts can be a walk, it could be a hike, it could be something with your kids that's very active. So the idea is just to get you out and moving a lot more. Number 3, you have to drink a gallon of water a day. Okay. Number 4, you have to read at least 10 pages of nonfiction. And then number 5, you have to take a progress picture every day. You don't have to post it anywhere, but you do have to take it. Failure to meet any of these on any given day throughout the entire 75 days, and you start over from day 1. Hence the 75 hard, right? A lot of people get tripped up thinking that it's super easy, and these are pretty minimal things like, I can read, no problem, or but I've read a lot of stories, and I have not done this yet. I'm getting ready to start it November 1st, but I've read a lot of stories about guys or men and women that have done it, that have gotten somewhere, 30, 40 days in, and then just totally forgotten one night to take a picture. Waking up the next day realizing, shit, now I've got to start over from day 1 because that one small thing. And so that's the idea behind this, is to really get you mindful about your daily habits and build that consistency. And so what I want to talk about today is the reason why I'm doing this. And the reason that I'm sharing this, because honestly, you probably don't really give a shit about why I'm doing this, right? Our group is doing it. We've got a handful of guys right now. We've got about 10 guys right now that are committed to it in the Inner Circle. And typically we have a much better showing, but because this is happening over the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's a lot harder to get people to commit to it because it's pretty strict, and you have to give up alcohol, and a lot of guys don't want to give up their beers or their drinks, especially over the holidays, so they just say, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And that's fine. But, if you're going to do this challenge, you need to go all in, and there is no alcohol. So what I want to share is 5 reasons why I'm doing this challenge personally, and I think by me sharing my reasons, it will resonate with you on some of, at least some of these, because, in all my years coaching dads, I see, a recurring theme with a lot of reasons why guys aren't succeeding from a fitness standpoint. And like I've said many times before, I am not some fitness guru. I'm a regular dad. Yes, I do this for a living, but I have all the same struggles that most of you have. And so when I am going through something, I share it, and a lot of guys will, say, what I'm doing, that's what I'm going through as well. And then we, see how to fix it. So first off, I really think this is a monumentally important challenge on a few levels. And I think that if you're on the fence, really give it, some thought. So like I said in the beginning of the show, this is a free challenge. This is open to the public. You can join their free groups. You can do it on your own. You can do it with your buddies, your coworkers, whatever. We are doing this inside of our private program, which is paid, called the Inner Circle. And the reason that we're doing that in there is because I've decided to offer the support and accountability that is lacking for a lot of guys. And especially with a challenge like this, if you don't have that, and some guys just don't have that, it's really easy to get off track. I mean, really easy, because you're, from what I've read, once you're in the thick of things and you're going well, there are going to absolutely be days, many days, where it takes every ounce of strength to get through your tasks, and you'll want to quit. And a lot of people do quit. And so by providing the structure and the framework inside the group, we're going to have an accountability team. We're going to have daily check-ins. We're going to have a way to track everything every single day. We're going to do weekly calls where we can jump on and start answering questions and talk about what's working and some strategies on how to best optimize the challenge for you. And so that's some of the stuff we're going to be doing inside the Inner Circle. So if you're interested in that, you can apply to the group. And I'm looking for guys that are serious, and you can find more information about that at fitdadnation.com/inner circle. So a couple months ago, I had an episode. So it was, I guess, the end of August. I was on our boat, and I had this just crazy sensation of nauseousness and vertigo, and I shared this in an episode a while back, and I didn't know what it was, and I was literally just on the deck, and I've never gotten motion sickness. I have no problems on boats or anything like that. And we were actually sitting still at the time, and I was just fishing in completely still waters, and I just felt terrible. And then for the next hour and a half, I'm just laid out on the boat floor. Couldn't look up, couldn't pick up my head without feeling incredibly sick. Of course, they had to call in the police boat, and we had to get an escort to the dock. They cleared the dock where an ambulance was waiting for me. So I shared all this before. And so up to that point, I had been on a mission to lose 20 pounds in the month of August. And I've also talked about this, so I don't recommend trying to lose that much weight that quickly. But for me, I know my body really well. I've lost weight, I've gained weight, and I felt like I could do it. It was a really an aggressive goal, but I wanted to do it. And so I was pretty close. I was only about 4 pounds away when this happened. And after that, even for, I would say, probably 2 weeks, I couldn't exercise without, feeling a little bit woozy, and I wanted to take it easy. And of course, with that, I lost my momentum with my diet. I had been eating really high protein, very low carb. I was really leaning out, and went back to comfort foods and really got off track big time. And now, I guess it's been, a month? I guess about 2 months. Yeah, I've regained a good 10 pounds, and none of it muscle. Inconsistent with exercising, and my diet has not been great at all, and I just don't feel great. So when I started thinking about this challenge, and a friend of mine brought it up and said, you should really consider doing this, with yourself, with your group. This is a phenomenal challenge. He had been through it a few times, and learned some things through some failures that he had in there as well. And so the more I looked at it, the more I decided, I think I'd like to do this. So I listed out the reasons why it made sense for me to do this. And so the first one is just, I've gotten complacent. I've gotten lazy even. So, my workouts haven't been great. I've been busy with other stuff, and I'm suffering because of it. And it's very common. I know one of the main things is trying to stay motivated, trying to stay active, and not ending up on the couch or sitting for too long and doing the things that aren't helping you at all. And that's where I've been. And I think if you're somebody that struggles with that, this is a big wake-up call, because I know you don't want to be lazy, and I've had plenty of men tell me, I'm just lazy. All right? If you want to change, but you're in a place where you're just not really feeling it, but you know that you need to change, and you are willing to make some changes and put in the work, you might want to consider this. And I would say followed closely behind that is my diet. And this obviously is a huge thing for pretty much every person on the earth trying to lose weight, right? Diet is always, always, always the struggle, especially for us guys. We have more excuses. It's just crazy. I don't know how to cook. I don't know what to eat. I don't know how to eat healthy. I don't know how to count calories. I don't know, all that stuff, right? And all that information is available online with just a quick Google search. You can't use that as an excuse. But we struggle, and I struggle, right? And again, I teach this stuff for a living. I am struggling with my diet. I always say that you want to get to a place where you've been eating healthy for so long that junk food, fast food, fried foods, soda, sugars, sweets, all that stuff tastes bad, right? And obviously, most of us, that's not the case. It's the other way around, right? When we eat a Big Mac meal, it tastes delicious. And then the next day when we have, a nice piece of baked chicken, a little bit of broccoli, and some steamed brown rice, it doesn't taste nearly as good. And ideally, we want to be in a place where those are reversed, where your palate has changed, your tastes have changed, you're not so used to all of that sugar and salt on your taste buds all the time. And so, if you're at a place like that and you are struggling with your diet, this is a great way to set yourself up for even a new relationship with food. Because if you can, let's say you just pick up a paleo diet, for example, which basically you're eating no grains, no flour, no dairy. It's relatively strict, but you still get to eat a lot of foods, a lot of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds and oils and lean meats, eggs, all that stuff. So there's plenty of stuff to eat. But if you're someone that just has a hard time saying no to food that isn't helping you, 75 days of doing this and saying, you know what, I'm going all in on this. I'm going to, for 75 days with 2.5 months, I will be eating nothing but this paleo diet, right? But you can eat a ton of really delicious food. You just won't be eating all that junk that's killing your progress right now. I would say, if that's you, I would consider this. Again, you don't have to do this with us. We have a lot of tools and resources and coaching and all that stuff that will definitely, absolutely help you through this challenge, especially when things get tough. But you're more than welcome to do it on your own wherever you want. I'm more interested in having you do it. So if your dad listened to this and you're struggling, yeah, join us. Love it. If not, I would still love for you to do it, because I'm looking at this like this is going to be a catalyst to much bigger things, much better things, new habits, new outlook on life, having more confidence, dropping some weight, adding some muscle, feeling good about yourself. That's huge, huge. I can't overstate that. Even those small non-scale victories, not even looking at the number on the scale, how you're feeling about yourself, looking in the mirror, your confidence level, that is worth far more than 20 pounds on the scale to me. So there's that. And so with that said, I would say, and I may even, probably should have said this first, but this isn't a weight loss challenge. This isn't promoted as a weight loss challenge. This is not a weight loss challenge. It's a mental toughness challenge. And I'm going to take full responsibility for my actions, and I will tell you honestly that I've gotten soft mentally and physically. I live in my comfort zone. I work at home, and I really play it safe in most of my life, almost all of it. And that's not good. For me, there's no growth in that. And so this is a way for me to kind of break out of my comfort zone a bit and truly test myself, and I don't really test myself as far as mental toughness. I just don't. And if you're doing it, great. If you're not, if you feel like there's a lot of room for improvement, this is, in my opinion, there's a lot of ways to do this, but, committing to 5 tasks every day, and regardless of what comes up, relative dies, someone gets COVID, you name it, right? Kids' sports, you get fired from your job, whatever. there's always going to be resistance. There's always going to be an excuse that's standing in your way of completing what you need to do. I mean, always. And if you don't have the mental strength, you're going to cave. You're going to give up. Just this one little thing will be all right. And the whole goal behind this thing isn't to lie to yourself. It's not to cheat. It's not to say, well, I did pretty good. I'll just keep going with it. No. The whole idea is to hold yourself 100% accountable and be 100% honest with yourself. That's how this is beneficial. Okay, because if you have, I just have one Snickers bar, no big deal, right? It takes a lot of strength and willpower and mental toughness to say, you know what? I just fucked up. I know I'm on day 62. I had the Snickers bar. That was my decision. I'm starting over from day one. And yeah, that fucking sucks. No doubt about it, right? Because you're going to be grinding it out, getting through this. But to really hold yourself accountable and to be very true to yourself, you need to start over. And if you're not strong mentally, emotionally for this, you may just cave. So for me, I need to toughen up. I really do. The physical side will come, no problem. I'm not worried about that. Weight loss, getting leaner, stronger, those things, that's a byproduct of going through something like this. And I know the results will come, and I'm not even thinking about that. I'm more concerned about just getting tougher. I will say also a big one for me is habits and consistency. So anybody can get motivated, inspired, fired up, pumped up, whatever, for a short amount of time, a day, a week, couple weeks. It's really hard to maintain that, high motivation for much longer than that. It just comes and goes, and life gets in the way. But having a set of habits, like just brushing your teeth, making your bed, tying your shoes, whatever those things you do, you don't think about, having healthy habits that are actually helping your health instead of hurting it is truly how you make change in the face of waning motivation, right? And you've probably heard about this, you've heard this many, many times before, but yeah, it's just, you can't rely on motivation because you'll never always be motivated. It doesn't matter what you're doing, where you're at. The most elite athletes in the world go through ups and downs. So the whole goal is to build habits, and that comes through consistency, which comes through doing the same thing over and over. You've probably heard, habits are formed, and I've read anywhere from 21 days, I've heard 33 days, and according to Gary Keller and the One Thing, I think his says 66 days, so who knows. But anyway, it takes a while to build a habit. And so by doing this, right, drinking a lot of water, which is one of them, is a phenomenal habit, right? Most of us don't do it. We're drinking coffee, we're drinking soda, we're drinking sugary drinks, whatever it is. Great habit, right? Reading, often overlooked. It sounds almost dumb, but we're so glued to our electronics, and I'm no different. I don't read nearly as much as I used to because I have too much stimulation, right? I have a laptop where I'm rewatching Game of Thrones. I've got my phone going, and so the thought of sitting there quietly reading, isn't that exciting to me, but it's such a great habit, especially when you're reading nonfiction. You're actually growing as a person. I have a lot of personal growth books that I need to reread, and I've just ordered a few as well. But, get in the habit of reading. Think about what you'll learn. If you read 10 pages a day or more, how many books are you going to read in a year? That's a lot of books, right? So think about that. And then lastly, there's something that I haven't done a great job of facilitating in my groups or in my life, is like having a very worthy, like a goal for someone to shoot for. So in the past, I've had clients that really struggled to get started, to stay on track, and it wasn't until I threw a very specific goal in front of them. Oftentimes it was some kind of event, like, all right, man, you're signing up for this 10K in 3 months. So you're doing it. So let's start training. And when you have something to look forward to like that, it gets you excited. It gets you thinking about the bigger picture and what ifs. And it has that little bit of adrenaline going through your veins. And again, this isn't going to be like something that's going to motivate you constantly. But, when you have a bigger purpose, when you have something to look forward to, yeah, it absolutely does help. And I'm making some changes to the inner circle. We're starting to implement some achievement levels, and we're going to have specific challenges and goals and even fitness tests within the group to help guys strive for more and just something to look forward to. And so, yeah, having that, and for me, having this under my belt, saying, yes, I did the 75 hard, that's important to me. That's a cool thing because it's a long-ass time. I mean, it's a long time. We do most of our challenges in the inner circle 30 days-ish. Most of them are 30 days. And even then, it's a very high percentage of guys who don't even make it 30 days, right? And so you have to look at this and say, okay, this is a pretty big task. It's a big ask, especially with big holidays coming up, where typically you're eating like a pig and just stuffing yourself with stuffing and tons of sweets and baked goods, and then Christmas, and yeah, we drink beer, we drink our alcohol, whatever. And so, yeah, this is a tough time, but I think that's why this is going to be so important. And last week on my show, I had Jeremy Mullins, who is the director of my Transformation Starts Today challenge, which is First Form's huge quarterly challenge. And yeah, he had some really good insights on this. So you may want to take a listen to that episode. And he shared a couple of his experiences as well with the 75 hard. So I'm excited, guys. I mean, I'm seriously, it's daunting, but I want you to think about that. Like, I've had a lot of guys say, I can't commit to it. I can't give up my beers over the holidays. And if that's you, that's fine. I'm not going to push you into it. If you can't give up or don't want to give up alcohol for 2 months, that's okay. There's other challenges. There's plenty of other things to do. But if you want to truly test yourself, this is going to be physically testing yourself and absolutely mentally tough getting through this day after day when your wife decides that she wants to go out to dinner and everyone's eating foods that are not on your approved list, all that stuff. That's hard. It's hard. It just is. But that's where you have to make those choices, right? You say no. I remember in August when I was going through my personal challenge, trying to lose 20 pounds, and I was getting towards the end, and I had really increased my protein. I was eating a very high protein diet, very low carb, and I was starting to have some cravings, and we had some friends over we're playing cards, and we ended up getting a couple of pizzas from a local place here, which is my favorite pizza, and just the smell of that sitting at the table right in front of me, it was tough, no doubt about it. And I was absolutely 100% committed to losing that weight, and I was not going to cheat, and I didn't. But I tell you, that was tough. I mean, that took all my willpower to go have something else. I even forgot what I had. It was like an egg or something. But that was just my commitment. And so I would love for you guys to put yourself in a position like that where you get to make those decisions. You get to make that choice where something is presented where this is like, okay, I got to have this. And then instead of saying, you know what, I'm just going to have this and it'll be fine, you say, no, my commitment is elsewhere. This is what I'm doing. I'm not quitting regardless. And I think there's tremendous, tremendous power and growth in that. So if you want to join us and be part of the group, like I said, we're going to have accountability teams. We're going to have tracking. We're going to have a lot of stuff. We've got a full guide for you that's going to help you with all aspects of this challenge, get through this successfully. You can apply to the Inner Circle, fitdadnation.com/inner circle. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, you just want to touch base, or you have some specific questions, you can always find me on social at the FitDad Nation, or hit me up on email, steve@fitdadnation.com. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.